The financial world is about to go through a huge change that not many people outside of the top levels of power fully understand. The US Federal Reserve, which is the world's most powerful financial organization, is about to do something that could change the very idea of money. The last FOMC meeting minutes were leaked, and they show a plan that is so big and has never been seen before that it could change not only the digital asset space, but also the whole global banking system. Leaks say that the Federal Reserve plans to buy XRP at a set price of $18,356 and use it as a strategic tool to support the digital dollar. It's not speculation, and it's not a normal way to spend. This is a well-thought-out move by the government regarding monetary policy that shows a deep comprehension of the issues with the present financial system and the chances that blockchain technology offers. The reason for this move is the rise of a digital currency issued by the U.S. central bank, the digital dollar. This currency must work not only in the US, but also around the world. In contrast to traditional fiat, a CBDC needs a liquid, neutral bridge asset to make international transactions possible and make sure that settlement goes smoothly across countries. Being able to settle transactions instantly and being widely used in institutional spaces, XRP has become the clear choice. The Federal Reserve knows that a digital dollar could be slow, expensive, and prone to the same problems that have plagued cross-border payments for decades if it doesn't have an asset like this. The Federal Reserve is making sure that the digital dollar has a stable, highly liquid base by buying a huge amount of XRP as a strategic reserve and setting a fixed floor price at the same time. The goal is not to speculate or trade, but to build the foundations for a new age in money. Big US banks are already taking steps that are in line with the Fed's plan. Institutions that are in charge of trillions of dollars worth of assets have been quietly told about this plan and are working to make their own systems ready for it. It's not an accident that huge amounts of XRP have been bought over the counter in the past few weeks. They are banks that are ahead of the Federal Reserve in putting the policy into action, getting ready to handle liquidity, risk, and compliance once it is officially in place. Every change made to the book, every big deal, shows that institutions at the top level are working together. There is no retail hype here, and this is not normal market action either. The world's most powerful central bank and the financial institutions that carry out its plans on a global level are strategically aligned. It's hard to believe what this means. The XRP market will instantly go back to normal when the Federal Reserve starts its buying at $18,350. The floor has been set, there will be plenty of money, and the way every investor and organization thinks will change. If you see this as an opening, you can now buy an asset for a lot less than what it will be officially worth soon. For lack of a better word, the Federal Reserve is about to make XRP the first digital asset in history with a sure floor price, an object whose value is directly backed by the world's most powerful regulator of money. You can't say enough about how big this move is. We're talking about a strategic reserve that is so big it would dwarf even the biggest company treasuries. It would be able to handle market volatility and keep the global financial system stable. The details of how this will happen are planned ahead of time. The Fed doesn't talk about these kinds of actions on TV or in news releases. There will be no special on CNBC, and no story in the Wall Street Journal will show how big what is about to happen is before it does. Instead, the job will be done quickly, quietly, and with the level of accuracy that can only be achieved by an institution of this size. Traders, investors, and institutional watchers who only follow what the news says will be caught off guard. People who keep an eye on the ledger activity, over-the-counter OTC flows, and coordination between banks will be able to read the signs, figure out the strategy, and place themselves correctly. There is a once-in-a-lifetime match between monetary policy and the infrastructure of digital assets. This is a rare chance to turn preparation and understanding into a transformative advantage. It is very important to understand the bigger picture. The use of a digital currency issued by a central bank is not a one-off project. It's a big change in the way world finance works. Governments and central banks around the world are becoming more aware of the problems with traditional payment systems and the inefficiencies of correspondent banking. They are also becoming more aware of the strategic benefits of using digital assets to improve liquidity and settling efficiency. The best bridge asset for this new digital design has been found to be XRP, which can settle instantly, have deterministic finality, and be in line with regulations. The US is sending a message to the rest of the world that XRP is not just a speculative coin by setting a floor price through the Federal Reserve. It is a key part of the next generation of financial infrastructure. The timing of over-the-counter sales, the way banks work together, and the activity in the ledgers all point to planned coordination. This means that the Fed is not experimenting, is following through on a plan to incorporate XRP into the main functions of the U.S. banking system. This strategic store will be used for more than one thing. It will keep the price stable, make sure there is enough money in the digital dollar, and set up a way for payments to be made easily across borders. The Federal Reserve is basically setting up a situation where XRP is necessary, not because of speculation or hype, but because of how institutions are set up and the need for money. This is a big change in how people around the world understand, create, and keep track of money. There is a clear need to move right away. People who wait for the official release will find that the market already knows how much the Fed thinks something is worth. The chances in picking up on the signals right now, knowing the strategy, and putting things in place before they are carried out. This isn't about trying to time a pump or get quick gains. It's about taking part in a major monetary policy move that is actually changing what value is. Think about the power of scale to get a sense of the size. The Federal Reserve has trillions of dollars in reserves, and even a small amount of that amount invested in XRP at a guaranteed price changes the market in a way that has never been seen before. It becomes easier to plan for liquidity, volatility is limited, and institutional usage speeds up by a huge amount. With XRP at its core, the ecosystem is being built to be stable, resilient, and useful around the world. From a strategic point of view, the effects go beyond money and include policy, government, and technology. The Fed is setting up a framework for a global digital currency that is flexible, efficient, and strong by tying the digital dollar to XRP. There is no doubt that other central banks will pay attention. All over the world, banks will change their risk models, liquidity planning, and operational procedures to fit this new situation. The effects really spread out and are very big. Once the first steps are taken, the rate of acceptance will speed up very quickly. This isn't just a chance to make money. It changes how foreign finance, settlement, and currency management work on a fundamental level. The importance is just as great for the everyday investor. It's not often that a digital asset that was previously subject to speculation, volatility, and perception risk gets a level of institutional certainty that has never been seen before in history. Price uncertainty is no longer a big risk for XRP thanks to the Federal Reserve's floor price. At the same time, banks, corporations, and governments now see strategic value in keeping the asset, which increases demand. When monetary policy, institutional coordination, and global acceptance all come together, it creates a once-in-a-generation chance to work with a financial instrument backed by the world's most powerful government. In conclusion, we are on the verge of a momentous occasion. By buying XRP strategically for $18,356, the Federal Reserve will set a price, provide liquidity, and, to be honest, change the role of digital assets in the global financial system. As big banks get ready, over-the-counter (OTC) deals continue, and the digital dollar is designed in a way that makes it clear that the plan will be carried out soon. People who read the signs and act now have the chance to be a part of a change that will be recognized as a major turning point in the history of finance. This isn't chatter, rumors, or hype. In this case, monetary policy, institutional foresight, and technological innovation are all coming together. This could change the very idea of money on a world scale. Nota bene, do keep in mind that I am not a professional financial advisor. The information in these movies is, just for fun. Before making any financial decisions, I always tell my viewers to do their own study and talk to professionals. Thanks for listening. Do not forget to hit the follow button and give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Also, make sure the alerts are on so you know right away when I post something new. In the next movie, I can't wait to catch up with you. Be careful,